I don't know if we should start with our general first impressions or if we should just pick specific things to talk about, but
Okay, everyone knows that it runs like shit,
it runs like shit. It
and
does.
it's been like 3 months, and it still runs like shit.
Yeah, there have been performance patches and stuff, but it doesn't really make a huge difference.
Part of me is like, maybe it's the Switch itself that just can't fucking handle this shit anymore,
Yeah.
which really makes me nervous about Zelda, but we'll see.
But look at the first Breath of the Wild, Like that was able to run on a Wii U, and it's like a big expansive game and like the art style is very unique and
Yeah,
I
but
yeah.
it's like 6 years later, and shit just keeps like getting crazier.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not go too far into that because everyone knows. Everyone knows.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to just talk about the actual game itself aside from like the performance issues.
I will have to say the fact that so we had like the 3 routes you can take,
Right.
but as it turns out, it's one route.
Yeah.
It's just much longer than usual. Because if you go like the wrong way, you go to the wrong city, and you're fighting motherfuckers that are like 20 levels higher, and it's impossible.
Yeah.
And so you still have to follow a strict path, but now it's not so clear where you're supposed to go. So I have to use a guide to find out what town is supposed to be next.
Yeah.
And that was kind of annoying because it's not really open world if you still have to go this way, otherwise you're going to get mollywopped.
Yeah. I also kind of found it annoying that because I was under the impression that you could choose one of the 3 storylines and then you could just finish the game that way.
Yeah.
And then you would go back, the same way that you end every Pokemon game where you beat, the main boss or whatever at the end, and then you go back to your house and you wake up and, you get to go out and do all the post-game stuff. I thought you were just going to be able to do that, but with, the other storylines. But I guess, like you said, it's not really 3 separate storylines. It's basically, it's basically just the one, because all of the characters that you meet in the other 2 storylines, whatever you end up choosing first, you have to complete them in order to do like the last part of the game anyway. So
like there was a point where you get far enough and they're like, okay, well, we need someone who can do this. Do you know anyone?
yeah,
And like, what was his name? What was the Arvin was his name?
Arvin, yeah.
Yeah, it was Arvin and someone else, but they were like, no, he's got to help me. No, he's got to help me. And I thought like, oh shit, I have to choose which one to help.
Right.
But no, you have to help them both anyway. So like, it presents itself as this grand open world game where you can go anywhere you want, but it all ends up in the same spot no matter what you do because you have to do everything anyway. And that's annoying.
Yeah. I will also say one of the technical aspects that I was disappointed to not see carry over from the last game before this, Pokemon Legends Arceus, is the battle camera has some freedom, but it also doesn't. So in Legends Arceus, you could just run around the battlefield and you could move the camera around, however you wanted. And you could walk in front of your Pokemon as they launched an attack or whatever. And it was fun. And in this game, I remember when I first started playing it, I was like, oh, so they're not doing that? It's a fixed camera again? No. You can move the camera around and you can click the right stick to, focus it back in the traditional fixed camera. But half the time you start a battle, the camera will just shift into that free camera mode to try to see both Pokemon, but sometimes it'll fuck up the physics of the game. Sometimes you're looking through the ground up at your Pokemon. Sometimes you can only see part of the enemy Pokemon, and then when you use an attack, the camera doesn't move. So it's what's going on, So that kind of made battling a hassle, unless you count the battles that you have to use a fixed camera for, and they use the sword and shield, the camera that was started in X and Y, where if you leave it idle for too long, it'll just show different camera angles and shots and stuff of either your face or your Pokemon or whatever. So I'm upset they didn't keep that. I'm upset they didn't keep it's like every aspect of Pokemon Legends that I liked, they put in this game, but like a watered down version. It's like you can aim at Pokemon and throw the Pokeball directly at them, but you still have to fight them. The throwing and the aiming doesn't feel as intuitive as it did in Pokemon Legends. So that makes catching not as fun, The Let's Go feature is really good. Although when your Pokemon runs behind you, half the time they go back in their ball anyway because they're too slow. Or they get clipped on part of the environment and they can't come with you, But enough of the stuff that we didn't like. Unless there's anything else that you didn't like that you want to bring up.
I didn't give a shit about Team Star. I didn't care about their stupid flashbacks.
Yeah.
And, we're bullies. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
There was that one town where, the gym had the old sprites on it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was cool. Also, the towns are fucking trash. There's nothing. You can't go in anything. And anything you can go into, it's just a menu.
Yeah, it's just a shop.
It's so hollow.
Yeah, it makes exploring the cities and towns not as fun.
It's just
which is a shame.
Deli shops and shit,
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame because, walking through these towns and these cities, you're like, God damn, this is huge. And
the water one?
Yeah, the water one, you need to use a fucking elevator to explore, the whole thing. Unless, you get the climbing and the flying, upgrade for your ride Pokemon. But, yeah, dude, and they're huge towns, but they're, they're mostly empty. And, you go from being able to talk to every NPC to not being able to talk to, half of them.
Yeah.
And it's I know a lot of times in Pokemon games, I don't really pay attention to talking to NPCs anyway. But I'm of the mindset whenever I'm playing an RPG, you got to talk to everybody because you don't know who's going to give you an item, So it's every Pokemon game I play, the first time I roll up into a town, I talk to everyone. I go into every house and I talk to everybody. And it just felt it felt like most of the aspects gameplay-wise in Scarlet and Violet that were introduced were kind of half-assed, watered-down versions of things that we'd seen in other games. Like washing your Pokemon at a picnic. I preferred it when it was on the 3DS, and you got to actually Nintendogs, touch them and stuff. The sandwich making is fine. Picnics are fine. You get to throw a ball around like you did in Sword and Shield, but I don't know. I said enough of the things we didn't like, and I just kept going on about things I didn't like.
Because there's more. Legendaries are done. They're just gone now, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just, they just give them to you immediately. I mean, I liked Miraidon.
Yeah.
I don't, people are bitching about it. Oh, just give me sandwiches. But I still like it. I like how it looks.
Yeah.
And I like using it to climb shit and fly. And, in Legends, every Pokemon, everything you had to do had a different Pokemon.
Yeah.
But in this one, your guy does everything.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. But there's no legendaries besides those 4. And it was really kind of what happened to legendaries, man? What happened to them?
There are some generations where I feel like there are too many, and there are some generations where I feel like there are too few. And in this case, I feel like they're going to go the route of Sword and Shield, and they're going to include more legendaries in DLC. But it's that's disappointing in itself, because then that assumes that you can't get every Pokemon in the game, for up to a year or two after the game comes out. Because it's oh, we got to make more. We got to put some in the DLC, So, I don't know. I will say, though, I think I think this Pokédex for Paldea has a lot of really good Pokemon in it. Like, I will say, as far as like every Pokemon game goes, the Pokemon designs are for the most part really fucking good. The music is really fucking good. Yeah, those are usually the two parts of Pokemon games that are generally like almost always hit. You know, they're not really hit or miss. I think, you know, every once in a while you'll get a Pokemon like Scovillain who just looks so fucking dumb, you know, but like
the idea is cool, but
the idea is very cool. I kind of wish it had a third evolution. Dude, I saw someone made fan art of a third evolution of Scovillain, or a second evolution, where it was like a dragon and it was on four legs and it had three heads like a hydra, and then the end of its tail was like a rattle, like jalapeno seeds, or like the inside of a jalapeno pepper, you know. And I was like, that would have been sick, you know, like a red pepper, a yellow pepper, and a green pepper. But instead we just get, you know, an edgy dude with his hands in his pockets, just
Oh my god, dude. They fumbled Quaxley so fucking hard. I can't believe it.
You don't like Quaquaval?
I hate Quaquaval. I hate it. I was happy with the second one. I was like, okay, this could be cool.
Yeah.
And it fucking evolves into this stupid thing that just fucking does this the whole time. And the way it runs is like this. I fucking hate Quaquaval. I hate it.
It's a dancer. It's like a flashy, you know. It's like a Spanish dancer, you know.
I hate it. I was so excited for Quaxley.
Yeah.
And they fucked me.
I think
Fuecoco's the way to go, officially.
I was going to say, I think for the first time in a really long time, we ended up using starters that we didn't like. Because I can't remember the last time I started a game with a Pokemon that I didn't end up really liking at the end. And Skeledirge is great. I like Skeledirge. I like Fuecoco. He's just a dumb little guy. He's got one brain cell. And then he evolves into a singer. And, like, he's very cool, you know. But as far as Fire Ghost type starters go, I gotta stick to Hisuian Typhlosion. So Skeledirge is all yours, dude. You can take him. I didn't get to start with Sprigatito, who is the one that I wanted to start with the whole time. And now in hindsight, I'm getting to play with a Sprigatito, and I'm like, this is so fucking cool, dude. Like, Florigato, like its second evolution, is probably one of my favorite second evolutions of starter Pokemon, like, ever. It's just got a yo-yo, you know, flower yo-yo, and it's like always folding its arms, and it's just like a cool, like, cat, you know. And Meowscarada is cool. I think it's my favorite of the three, honestly, but yeah, I haven't felt singular love for a starter Pokemon since I mean, like, I like Cinderace a lot. I like Primarina. I know it's a hot take.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. This new trio is competing for Gen 6 to be the worst one. Yeah.
Yeah. Which sucks, because I think I like every single one of their first, like, evolutions. You know, last generation, I didn't really like Sobble a whole lot. The generation before that, like, Litten was okay. You know, Poplio is a seal. I like seals. But, like, this generation, I was like, no, Quaxley looks cool. Sprigatito looks cool. Fuecoco looks cool. Like, I could choose any one of them. And then, you know, they all evolve, and it's like, nah, they're pretty okay. You know.
Yeah, anyway, Arvin's thing was by far the best.
Yeah, dude, I almost teared up.
The Titans were objectively the best part.
They provided the most legitimate challenges too. I feel like, yeah, and then that last Titan fight with the sushi and the Donzo.
Yeah.
That was really cool because it was like a you know, a fake out fight. Yeah, I think his storyline was the best too. Like, as soon as I found out that he was trying to collect all of the Herba Mystica to save his dog, I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that hit me right there. And And you know, but I will say we just keep talking about things that we don't like. This
No,
game
I do
needs
like that. I moved to shit I do like. Arvin's thing was good.
I also moved to shit. Okay, I'm going to move back to shit I don't like. Or I guess not even shit I don't like, but a missed opportunity. Dude, this game should have had voice acting. 100%. This game needed voice acting. I feel like
it might be time.
Dude, the cutscenes where you could see characters opening up their mouths and like mouthing words and stuff, there's a lot of those in this game. And it just feels so empty to like watch them and you can only hear the music and the sound effects. It's like when fucking that Nickelodeon All Stars or whatever, you know, when that came out and there was no voice acting. It was like these characters can only have so much personality without a voice. And it's like Nimona, who I think is probably one of the best rivals that we've had in a really long time.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like when she's so excited to battle you and all you have to go on is like the actual dialogue and the way her face looks. It's like if she had voice acting, I feel like I'd be so much more invested in her story. And also the whole section in Area Zero at the end where people are having dialogue behind you. Like, spoiler alert, you travel with Penny, Arvin, and Nimona in the fucking crater. And when you're running down the crater doing your thing, there's a bunch of exposition and backstory, like,
yeah, dude, like
just like on screen. And it's like, what am I supposed to stop and read this?
I'm trying to focus on the like not running to every Pokemon I see, and they're fucking like, there's so much dialogue in the bottom.
Yeah,
like,
and
I
it's
missed
like,
all of it.
You just you need voice acting for moments like that, because are you expecting me to stop dead in my tracks just to read text boxes that, mind you, I can't control? Like, they just go, you know? I don't know. So that's frustrating. But I will say, we finally get a dolphin Pokemon. Palafin is really fucking cool.
The music in Area Zero was really goddamn cool.
Yeah.
I think it was the best track, like, Pokemon's had in fucking, like, 10 years. I swear.
Yeah. I really like the fight against, you know, the final fight against the professor. That music is really good. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, oh god damn, you know, and then they start throwing out Paradox Pokemon that you haven't seen, and you're like, what the fuck is that? You know?
Yeah.
It's a really good final fight. I really like the fight against Penny, who you find out is the leader of Team Star. Spoiler alert, you know, but not really a spoiler.
God, fucking...
Yeah. But I
can't believe how hard Team Star sucks. That whole thing.
Yeah.
Every base was the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Every challenge was the same thing. There's nothing in the base. Every fucking one ends with the same stupid car.
Yeah.
Fuck Team Star. My god. How do they just keep getting worse?
Yeah, dude. We got to go back to an evil corporation where the villain is like... Yeah, have you seen that picture floating around where it's like, this is the ideal Pokemon game? You get... You know, to explore every region, you get the friend group from Scarlet and Violet, you get the enemy team from Black and White, you get the, you know, you get terastallizing, you get mega evolutions, and it's just like taking bits and pieces from every, yeah, you get like the Sinnoh Elite Four and the Champion, and it's like every game has a little piece of it that people like. I feel like Pokemon teams haven't, you know, been super imposing for a while. I mean, granted, like, you know, I know you don't like Team Skull. I enjoyed Team Skull kind of. I liked the Ether Foundation from Sun and Moon a lot too. Like, Lucamine is like a really good villain in my opinion, because she's just evil, dude. Like, especially in the original Sun and Moon, she's just an asshole.
Evil people again. Come on.
Yeah, like Team Star is not evil, you know, like Chairman Rose is not evil, you know, and it's like, it doesn't feel good to take down people who are misunderstood.
Lysander was evil, though. I think
Lysander
Team
was
Flare's a little underrated. I mean, he was literally trying to blow up the world.
Yeah, Team Flare is an underrated villain team. But yeah, dude, you got a good selection of Pokemon. You got a good, you know, selection of like music. I think the final act of this game in the crater was my favorite part of the game, because it finally feels like the story begins, you know? And it's like, then it's over. And it's like, okay, well, now Nimona goes back to being an NPC who says the same thing every time you talk to her. That sucks. But yeah, quick speed round, lightning round. I want to go through some of my favorite and my least favorite Pokemon designs from this generation. Tinkaton, dude,
Best, hands down.
it's such a highlight, dude. I love that Tinkaton is such a menace. Just kills Corviknight for fun.
It's just
That's
it's just
awesome.
like the first stage is just a little female life piece.
Yeah, yeah, it's
know?
just a doll, you know. I did not honestly know what to expect when she kept evolving, you know, because you have Tinkatink and then Tinka whatever.
Tinker Tom, I don't know.
Yeah, and then the hammer keeps getting bigger, and you know when she finally evolved into Tinkatun, I was like, okay, is she gonna become like an ogre or something? No, she stays like the same size, but the hammer is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Finnison and Palafin are really good. They were basically my starter because I kept them in the front of the team at every fight. You know, I love my little dolphin. So cute.
Yeah.
Let's see. I really like Orthworm. I think that's an underrated Pokemon design. It's just a goofy worm with like blue arms, you know, that pop out of its side.
Yeah.
I think the 4 legendary Pokemon that we do get in the game are like pretty good. I like the goldfish a lot. I like I like the saber-toothed tiger a lot too. Like their mythology is interesting. Yeah, least favorite, I don't like Scovillain. I don't care too much for it. I also don't really like Revavroom, the car Pokemon. Not a fan.
King Gambit is really cool. When I play it again, I want to use King Gambit.
Yeah, King Gambit slaps. Clodsire, what a good little boy. It's just a Quagsire like on its belly.
I was debating swapping my Toedscruel with that thing, but I'm just gonna use it next time.
Yeah, Toadscroll was cool. I think the grass tentacool just running around like Squidward is a funny idea.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else did I have on my team that I liked?
Dude, my fucking camera's gonna die.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other least favorite Pokemon?
The Flamingo was stupid.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity.
They did nothing. They removed a letter from the name and called it a Pokemon.
Also, I wish it evolved.
Dude, did you see the 1,000 Pokemon video?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw part of it.
Hello?
Hello? Are you
Hello?
still with me? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hi. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
The fuck happened? My internet connection is unstable. Fuck you. What about the 1,000 Pokemon?
Did you see that video they put out?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched part of it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
Whoever put that together is a maniac. But yeah, the fact that we hit 1,000 Pokemon and number 1,000 is like the gold ass.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw it. I never got it in the game.
Never?
Yeah, no, I still didn't get it.
Yeah, he's
So
just a string cheese guy who has a snowboard that he rides
that's
around
our number
on.
1,000. Unbelievable.
Yeah, just a bunch of gold coins stacked together. Also the Paradox Pokemon. I think almost every single one of them are really well designed. I think my favorite is probably Slitherwing, the Volcarona like past form where it's a bug fighting type and it looks like Mothra. I also really like Iron Valiant, the Gallade and Gardevoir like mashup with the fucking the spear. Oh, dude, so cool.
Yeah. There's the games are good for the most part.
Yeah,
Damn, there's some fucking hard misses.
Yeah, despite how much we shit on them, I think I still really enjoy Scarlet and Violet.
They at least I remember I was gonna bitch about the fact they removed sleeping animations, but they did put them in.
Yeah, they patched him in.
I was like, dude, you can't make their eyes close anymore. Are you serious? But no,
Yeah,
they do now.
Yeah, they do. So I'm currently replaying through the story. I'm playing Pokemon Violet right now, and I'm using a select team of Pokemon. Yeah, man, if you want to borrow Scarlet and go through the game again anytime soon, just let me know. I know it's probably a little too close to the release of
Yeah.
the game to want to jump back in again. But apparently, there was a DLC leak, quote unquote, and allegedly the DLC is going to come out next November, so it's going to be the next, big November release for Pokemon. And I don't want to talk too much about it in case it ends up being wrong, which is a very likely possibility.